Today we're going to be having a look at the agency business, which was one of the many offerings released in GTA Online as a part of the contract DLC that came out at the end of last year. And with it brought all sorts of new money-making opportunities, some of which I consider to be among the best earners in the game, only outmatched by the Cash King itself, the Cayo Perico heist. I'll be showing you the ins and outs of the agency and the best way to maximise your profits so you can start raking in millions of dollars as soon as possible. And of course, if you do find the video useful, make sure you give it a helping hand and tap the thumbs up button down below. To get things kicked off, we'll have a quick look at the purchase page on Dynasty 8 Executive. Normally I'd go into great detail about the best upgrades and locations, but honestly, it's not really necessary here. Location isn't as important as it is with other businesses, and none of the upgrades are actually required for the money-making methods I'll be showing you in this guide, so just pick whatever's cheapest and best for you. After arriving here, you'll be treated to a cutscene and eventually given free access to your new business. And at this point, I'll take a moment to quickly note one of the cool features of the property. If you make your way over to this little table here, you can actually restock your entire snack inventory totally free of charge. One of the locations is here in the lobby, but there's another spot up in the kitchen on the top floor. Take a moment to fill your pockets because we've got a ton of missions on the horizon, and this will not only make them a bit easier, but will also save you a few dollars in the process. And as an added bonus, if you loop around the table here, you'll find some complimentary cans of junk energy as well, which will refill a good chunk of your health. So make sure you stop off at these locations on a regular basis and top up your supplies. The first proper content we'll get access to is called security contracts. Now these aren't the biggest earners in the DLC, but we do need to at least do a few of them to start making the real money later down the road. Honestly, I don't mind them though. They're a lot of fun and usually only take between 5 and 10 minutes to complete. I often slip them in between jobs when I'm waiting for a cooldown timer or something like that, and they're a good way of passing time and earning some much needed cash in the process. There are multiple types of security contracts, each with 3 different difficulty settings and payouts that can be observed in the bottom right hand corner of the screen when you're selecting the mission from the computer in your office. Professional pays 30 to 40k, Specialist earns 45 to 55k, and Specialist Plus earns you around 60 to 70k. It's totally luck of the draw as to which mission type and difficulty setting you get, so just pick whatever pays the best and looks most appealing to you at the time. Most of the missions are pretty fun and worth checking out, some of them more so than others, so give each of them a go and see which works best for you and your playstyle. You will need to do at least one of the security contracts in order to unlock the story missions with Dr Dre, and at least 3 to unlock Payphone Hits, which I'll be discussing later on in the video. By completing these missions, you'll also get a new type of passive income added to the wall safe in the corner of your office, but honestly I'd say don't really worry about it. The amount of effort that's required for this to pay off isn't really worth it in my opinion. You can get up to 20k per in-game day from the safe, which is decent, don't get me wrong, but you have to complete 200 of these security contracts for that to happen. And yeah, from my point of view, that's just not worth it. But hey, if you end up really liking the missions and want to slowly chip away at it, well then by all means do so. Even I'll probably get there eventually just because I'm always doing them in between other activities. As I mentioned before though, once you finish 3 of the security contracts, you will then get given access to Payphone Hits. These missions are a lot of fun and really easy to complete, even if you're playing solo and at a low level. The payouts are honestly insane, especially considering they only take a couple of minutes and don't require any specialised equipment. Anything that you need is provided through the mission itself. Your first Payphone Hit will get triggered when you're travelling around in free roam, where a little blue icon will pop up on your minimap. Once you see that, make sure you go and answer the phone. Doing so will start the mission and get things kicked off. After the first mission though, it's a lot easier, and you can request the Payphone Hit from Franklin at any time of the day by calling him on your mobile. He'll then send your job through to the nearest payphone and you can go and get it started right away. The only catch with the Payphone Hits is that they come with a 20-minute cooldown, which means you can't grind them one after the other all day long. But I mean, that doesn't really matter too much. Just about everything in this game has a cooldown or a wait period, so it really just gives you another way of earning some proper cash while you're in between doing heists or sales or something like that. At some point throughout all of that, you'll receive a call from Franklin, who informs you of a new business opportunity, which will be our ticket to getting the Dr Dre story missions underway. This is one of the best earners in the entire DLC and will net you a cool $1.5 million for your first run, and $1 million flat for every run thereafter. There are 3 main sections to the story missions, each with their own setups and preps. After you've completed the first one that Franklin invited you to over the phone, you can then follow up on the rest by accessing the computer back at the office in your agency. Here you'll get a breakdown of your progress and everything that's required for the upcoming missions. Occasionally there's points where you have to wait for a phone call or something like that before being able to start the next part, but usually you can do it at your own convenience. Either way, once you've completed all the story missions, you'll then be met with this very cool cutscene of Dr. Dre flying off to his giant yacht in a very fancy helicopter. More important than the cinematics though is of course the money, and after all the Dr. Dre story missions are done and dusted, you'll finally get hit with the payout screen, which should inform you that you've earned an absolutely whopping $1 million. Add to that the bonuses that you've been getting throughout for doing the missions for the first time, and you'll be getting closer to 1.5 million. Unfortunately that is only this one time around, but hey, 1 million per go is still pretty damn good. Like I said, it might not be KO Perico good, but it's definitely better than Tunas and some of the other DLCs we've gotten recently. It adds a bit of variety as well. Heisting all day every day can get a bit boring, let's just be real. It's always good to mix things up where you can and keep it interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much a wrap for all things money making in the agency. I could go into more detail and stretch the video out, but as I'm sure you all know by now, I like to keep my guides short, sweet and to the point. I'm always happy to answer people's questions in the comments though, so if you do have anything you're wondering about, make sure you hit me up. But as long as you do a combination of the security contracts, Payphone Hits and the Dr. Dre story missions, particularly the last two, you'll be making stacks and stacks of cash in no time at all. If you did find the video useful, please show your appreciation by tapping the like button down below, and if you are new around here, then definitely think about subscribing for all future GTA Online and Rockstar Games related content. Until we meet again folks, I am Red Nitrate, and I'll catch you on the next one.